How important is this competition to Manchester United, and will you have any players back for the game?
No, I think no one different is back. They are still trying to recover to help us in the next games. It's really important for us, but nowadays everything is important. The last win, just the feeling of win. The way we work in the next days is completely different. So we want to go to the next stage, and we want to have two wins in a row, especially at home, and we need that feeling.
We spoke briefly the other night about Alejandro Garnacho. I was just wondering if you could clear up the situation there.
Yeah, he came to me. Was funny because in the next day he came to me to my office. I did some investigation, and he went to the dressing room, changed his clothes because he was wet. He watched the game not in the bench. We watched the game. In the end of the game, he was there, and he went home. So there's not a issue there. But I told them that in Manchester United everything is important, and perception in a big club is really important. So he's going to pay a dinner to all the team, and that's it.
Roy Keane yesterday was particularly forceful about Bruno Fernandes in the way that he tends to be. What is your assessment of Bruno as your captain and the impact he's having on your team at the moment?
Yeah, I heard about that. I have a different opinion. Bruno is really important for us in the club, special for me. He's playing well in the difficult context. He wants always the responsibility. I know that sometimes as a captain he do things like with his arms, and sometimes you see it in the criticizing the teammates. I think it's most of all is a lot of frustration for this year and the last year and the others. He wants to win, and sometimes it's really hard to deal with that frustration. But like I said, everybody has an opinion. Roy Keane has big standards from him in his time, and it's normal to have an opinion. I have an opposite opinion, and I think it's more important, my opinion, than Roy Keane, because I'm the coach, and I think he's doing things quite well.
Ruben, it's been quite a difficult time on and off the pitch for United, and I can imagine super challenging for you to manage through. You've spoken about surviving the storm, getting to the summer. I want to know, has there been any discussions around recruitment, any guarantees for what you will get in building the squad in your image, given the financial constraints?
No, guarantees we don't have. You know the situation of the club. We need to make some deals for make some deals. We know the situation, but of course we are trying to project the next season. We have to do it as a big club, and we are changing a lot of things in our squad, in the academy. We are working on everything for the future of the club. So guarantees I cannot give you. The board cannot. It's clear the situation. We have to deal with that, but we are preparing the next season for sure.
Then how important is it that Dorgu receives support? Only a young player, difficult week. There'll be lots of criticism and noise, as there always is with United, but people need to remember that he's only 20, came into a difficult circumstance mid-season.
It's part of it's like business as usual. Like no big deal. Of course, you don't want a sent off because it's really hard to play with 10 men. Then we lose the player for 3 games. Of course, there is a lot of noise. This is like I said before. It's Manchester United. Everything is a big issue. But for me, it's a normal thing. Try to explain the situation. You already know. You go inside the dressing room. Is really like. He's talking with me without talking, so I don't need to say anything. He's frustrated and he's sad, but he's working and preparing the next games. And we have so many games. We have then in Thursday another game, so we'll be ready for that games, and we wait for him because he's going to be a very important player for us.
Just on the team news and the goalkeeping situation, where no players have come back. Will Andre continue to start this weekend? And do you feel as though his he's suffered not having Altay there to compete with him, maybe because he possibly would have played against Leicester.
No, it's. I think he passed this in the last year. I think I don't know for sure. Some difficult moments, but this season he did some great saves that save our team, and then sometimes have some problems. But that is normal. And I think if you look for our team, you can find a lot of players with that issue. So I think we are not performing so well as a team. And sometimes some players have problems. In the second, people talk about a lot of the second goal. I think from Ipswich, he's waiting for the touch of the lap. I think that is really clear, and then the ball continues to the goal. So that can happen. We just have to support Andre like we support all the players and prepare the next game. Forget about the past and prepare the future.
Hi Ruben. Earlier this week Erik ten Hag spoke about the modern day player being quite soft in some ways. Do you think, even though he's spoken to you about what happened on Wednesday, that Alejandro was a kind of example of that, and do you think maybe he didn't see the bigger picture for the team and why he was being taken off?
He's a young kid that will learn. The important thing is that in the next morning he was speaking with me. I think we need to see that small things, that walking out to the pitch, because Xerxes did the same thing and the context was different, but was the same thing. So we have to understand the situation, the context, the age of the players. Of course, they have to be better. They have to understand that perception here is really important. But like I said, you can deal with that in the next day and move on. So let's just move on.
Just following on from that, Ruben, the players, modern day players now, have to be able to handle criticism better, and have a kind of, you say, a thicker skin, a tougher skin, particularly at Manchester United, because the focus is so great.
I think it's completely different for the players nowadays. Before it was just two newspapers and nothing more. With social media, completely different. They are so focused in social media. You cannot go to social media without seeing a news or a photo, or if you read something bad, you focus on that. You can have like 100 good things, but then one bad thing, you focus on the bad things. So I think it's really hard for them. You can call it soft, but they have like that access to criticism, what people think, that is really hard to deal with that, and they need help to deal with that. So it's the modern football, and they have to be prepared for that.
Last question in this section, Paul. Sorry, Garnacho again. Just to clarify, will he be available for this weekend?
Yes, he has a knock. When he went to shoot, one was blocked almost inside of the box. He has a knock. I expect for him to be ready, but we'll see. I have to wait until tomorrow.
Just in terms of that chat that you had with him about perception, do you get the impression that he fully understood what that means and he sort of buys into all that now?
I think he understands, but like I said, they read everything, all the small things, and then I know the players quite well. I played for quite a while, and I understand they are frustrated. He was playing well, and he has to go off in that moment of the game. So it's hard to deal with everything, but they have to deal with everything. So I'm just trying to help them to be a better football players. They understand the modern football.
Man United stars are angry at Ruben Amorim for linking their poor form to redundancies at the club, but players feel they cannot approach under-pressure boss about it. Man United stars are reportedly furious with Ruben Amorim but are not yet close enough to their manager to air their grievances with him. The pressure valve was released a little at Old Trafford after Wednesday's 3-2 win over Ipswich dragged Man United up to 14th in the Premier League table. But, off the pitch, it has been another dire week for the club. On Monday, Chief Executive Omar Barada confirmed that up to 200 members of staff could lose their jobs. After that news broke, Amorim pointed the finger at his players, saying their failure to qualify for the Champions League and their poor Premier League form had led to the cuts. We have to address all the problems in the club, but one important piece of this moment is to understand how we get to this situation, Amorim said. It has a lot to do with the lack of success of the football team because we are the engine of any football club. Ruben Amorim said Man United's failures on the pitch had led to the job cuts at Old Trafford. Captain Bruno Fernandes has hinted that the players have doubts about Amorim's tactics. 10-man Man United were up against it against Ipswich before Harry Maguire's winning goal. Now, The Sun are reporting that those comments have caused disharmony in the Man United dressing room. A source told The Sun if you went into Carrington you would think the players and Amorim are getting on great. But the truth is the players are frustrated for being blamed for the financial problems of the club. However, they haven't challenged the manager as they haven't yet formed a bond with him. He is clear in what he wants from them on the pitch, and they are trying to implement it. But while some of them are fully behind his tactics, they feel that they cannot speak up as Amorim is steadfast in what he wants. They are doing what they are told, whether they think it's right or not. The players feel like they can't show any displeasure or it will become a problem. Goalkeeper Andre Onana was involved in a mix-up with Patrick Dorgu for Ipswich's first goal. The source added that captain Bruno Fernandes is one of those who are closest to Amorim and had been used as a conduit between the boss and his players. After Wednesday's 10-man victory over Ipswich, Fernandes hinted that he and his teammates have doubts over their manager's tactics. Speaking to TNT Sport after the match, Fernandes said, "Me and H. Maguire have been here for a while already, so we know we have to stick with what we've been training, what we've been trying to do, what we're supposed to do. You could feel in moments it's not working, but for some reason the manager wants us to do that. If he wants us to do that, the opposition watches us for many games and prepare themselves. We have a big staff, not just his ones but the ones that are already here. We have great people behind the team to try to work on that, so if they do that in the right way, we just have to come on the pitch and show it." Fernandes and co will have their next chance to do just that when Man United host Fulham in Saturday's FA Cup fifth-round clash. Gary Neville has blamed the circumstances which have prompted Manchester United's harsh cost-cutting measures on the absolute fest of management by the Glazers in another stinging criticism of the ownership group. Under new minority owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Man United have made 250 members of staff redundant, and this week announced that 200 more jobs could be at risk as part of savage cuts aimed at bringing financial stability to the club. Other measures, including the removal of free staff meals, trimming Christmas bonuses, slashing the salaries of club ambassadors, and cancelling charitable donations, including the annual €40,000 donation to the Association of Former Manchester United Players, have also caused friction among the supporters. Under Ratcliffe's aegis, the club also announced in November that it would be scrapping ticket concessions for children and pensioners, and hiking the cost of home match tickets to a flat 66 rate. The distressing financial moves have come against the backdrop of another uneven season for the men's side on the pitch, with Ruben Amorim's side sitting 14th in the Premier League standings. But Neville stressed that while unpopular, the club is in dire need of strong financial management, with almost 20 years of Glazer ownership having heaped over €500 million worth of debt onto the club. "About 3 years ago, I said that United needed to bring money in," Neville said on Stick to Football, brought to you by Sky Bet. "It was a car crash waiting to happen. The club's finances are shot, absolutely shot to pieces. The debt, the recruitment's been reckless, the increase in staff from 600 up to 1,200, which is just unbelievable, the lack of Champions League football, which is €30, 40, 50 million a year, it's an absolute mess. The club has run out of cash. What you now see are desperate decisions. Some of them I think are needed, some are bad. You don't remove food off people at Old Trafford, you don't take €40,000 off the ex-players, and to be fair, the sacking of Dan Ashworth was a mess, because that's someone you've chased for 8 months and you get rid of after 3 months, that's a shocker, and that's €4 million, but this is a culmination of absolute fest of management from the Glazers. To the point whereby a €1 billion has been paid off in interest, the club has dipped off in terms of performance, cash flow, profit, it's lost €300 million in 3 years. Man United used to be the most profitable football club. In 2018 they had €350 million in the bank. From that point on now, I think Ratcliffe's Ineos put in €300 million and there's not much of that left. Neville's co-host Ian Wright agreed, adding that the Glazer ownership made the club feel like being scammed.